Hi, welcome to the Vergas Show. I'm Sherry Hansen. Thanks for joining us today. We're at the Vergas State Bank and Vergas Insurance Agency. Those of you who are familiar with the small town of Vergas know that you have true full service when you come into the Vergas State Bank and can get all your banking things done, and at the same time you have an insurance agency right within the bank that you can come and get some of your services done that way too. And so hopefully that's a convenience for you, and we'd love to be able to see you walk in the door and let you know what products we do offer. What I want to talk to you today about is flood insurance. I mean, if you've been in Vergas, if you have been anywhere in the tri-state area, you know the amounts of snow that we've gotten, and over the news it's just been flooding with information on how we are going to be seeing possibly a major flood again. Well, when you stop and think about flood insurance, so often people think about, well, that's kind of left up to the Fargo-Moorhead area if you're here, or if you're living near a large body of water or a river or something like that. But the truth is, you can live miles away from a river and still be a victim of flooding. Flooding can be caused by a broken sewer line. Flooding can be a slow-moving rainstorm, and it can be ground seepage, and most often your homeowner's policy does not cover flood insurance. And I wanted to just visit with you a little bit today about that on the Vergas Show here, because I think everybody needs to know everyone lives in a flood zone. You don't have to be near water to be flooded. It can be caused by melting snow and storms, hurricanes, which obviously we don't see here, but that's news media that you realize that it can be caused by that. And the normal homeowner's policy does not have coverage for that. And you can buy flood insurance now, a preferred risk flood insurance. But the thing of it is what you have to understand is you have to have that in place 30 days prior to when the flood would happen. So it's a good idea to come in, if you want to stop into the agency here or stop in at your agent, whatever. I encourage you with, our ground is saturated. Everybody's been talking about it, the amount of snow that we've got, but we had such a wet, rainy summer and spring, and there's just nowhere for the water to go. And so if that water starts seeping in the sides of your home, or if it comes in window wells, or if we get a heavy rain and there's nowhere for that rain to go, it's going to come into your home. Now, if we're in a flood, a true flood, where it's a federally declared by the president, then yes, federal disaster aid comes into place. But you have to have it be where the President of the United States would declare it a federal disaster. Most likely in this area that is not going to happen. And so flood insurance pays even if the disaster is not declared. And actually, flood insurance is pretty low cost. If you get a preferred risk policies, you can get into a policy, I was just looking at it here again, that for peace of mind, you can get into a policy for a full annual year policy for somewhere in the $200–300 range to cover a moderate home. Renters can even get a policy that they can cover just their contents. And just think of the peace of mind that you would have for that. And when you stop and think of the time and the hours that you would spend with the cleanup, that would all be included in that too. And so I encourage you to stop in. I encourage you to actually think outside the box and realize that no, a lot of us are in a hilly area here, and we're not what the county would consider a flood zone, but the flood maps are out there, and we're in a low risk area, which is good, but that means a low risk area as far as major water tributaries coming in and providing a flood that way. That's not taking into consideration the rain waters, the melting snow, and the backup of water in a sewer drain or something like that. So we've got a lot of information on that. The risk is real. Keep that in mind, that there is facts out there that we are in a flood zone. And so hopefully you have a chance to maybe assess what you have at your home, maybe assess your homeowner's policy that you have in place right now, and just take a minute and stop in, and I can give you some more information on that too. like to switch gears from the flood insurance now, and like I told Raina, I should probably just go to a different chair, but you can find me in this chair for insurance needs. The insurance agency is open on Monday through Friday. We're open at 8 a.m. in the morning. The bank closes at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. for the drive up and the walk up, but we can be reached later than that. We can make appointments in the evening, so keep that in mind too, to just give us a call and we'll certainly try to meet your needs for whatever your insurance needs are. We realize that if you're buying that home or if you're insuring that car, you possibly are working and can't get here in those specific hours, and so just give us a call and we'll gladly work with your schedule. So we'll walk out of the insurance agency, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the banking side now too. The Vergas State Bank is open Monday through Friday. We open at 8 a.m. in the morning, and we stay open until 3 p.m. in the main lobby, and the drive up and the walk up is open until 4 p.m. And then on Saturday mornings we're open from 8:30 till noon in the walk up and the drive up. And so hopefully those hours work into your schedule. We have internet banking, keep that in mind, and we can help you through that too. And if you need to do your banking through the internet, that works out great too. What I want to talk to you about today is IRAs, that time of year. April 15th, 2011 is the deadline that you can make an IRA contribution for the 2010 year. The limits this year for traditional and Roth IRAs are $5,000, and if you are over 50 years old, you can make a $6,000 contribution. Those are the maximum. You have to have earned income. Keep that in mind. You have to have earned income to be able to contribute into an IRA, traditional or Roth, and your tax advisor would be the one that you would want to talk to as far as what the actual maximum amount of contribution that you can make. And so keep that in mind. If somebody, maybe your spouse is on a retirement plan at work, maybe there's different variables that come into place there that you want to make sure that you are making the contribution that you can. The traditional IRA contributions, you take the deduction right away on your taxes, and that's, I think, the most common one that you hear people talking about. I want to just visit a minute about the Roth IRAs. The Roth IRAs, you do not get the deduction right now, but what they are is kind of what you consider tax sheltered, because when you take those earnings, there is no tax that you have to pay on those earnings. There's a little bit of flexibility with the Roth IRA too, because in the traditional IRA, you cannot make a contribution after you're 70.5 years old. And if you're still earning income after 70.5, which a lot of our people are now, then you, in a Roth IRA, you still can make that contribution. The contribution limits are the same for the Roth or the traditional, the $5,000, $6,000 if you're over 50. And once you hit 70.5 on the traditional IRAs, remember you have to start taking your required minimum distributions out of that. And then your minimum distributions are considered taxable income. Where the Roth IRA, when you start taking a qualified distribution out of that, your whatever you take for your distribution is not taxable. And there's a lot of variations on that too, as far as what's qualified, what's not, and so be sure and stop in, and I can visit with you about that too, and your tax advisor can visit with you about that. But we offer good interest rates on our IRAs, and so I invite you to stop in and look into that, and so kind of help out with your taxes. Before I close today, I did want to, just from the Vergas Show standpoint, I would like to extend the sympathies out to the Marilyn Fisher family. Marilyn was a wonderful supporter not only of the community of Vergas, but of the Vergas Show, and she passed away recently, and I think I speak from the community that we extend our sincere sympathy, and we will miss her. We'll miss her in the community, we'll miss her at the attic shop, and she was just a vital part of the Vergas community, and we would like to recognize that. So hopefully you take time to come to Vergas. Vergas does not close up its doors in the wintertime. We're open for business, and we would love to see you here coming to support Vergas during the winter months when it's cold and when it's maybe not as easy to get around, is what keeps it vital and viable and alive in the summertime. So you have a good day in Vergas. Thank you.